What is going on, guys? It's Justin from the J Media back with another video. So from the title of this video, you guys already know it is my 1 year anniversary with my Honda Civic Si. So actually it's been slightly over a year since I got it. To be exact, I got it back in I think June 2020. So this 1 year video is a little bit overdue. You guys know that on my Mitsubishi Lancer build, every single year I do a 1 year documentation of it, what's been done to it. So I think I'm going to do the same with my Civic Si. If you guys are new to the channel or did not know, this is my 2008 Honda Civic Si. To be honest, I never really saw myself picking up this car or building this car. It just happened, you know. So let's go ahead and talk about the backstory of this car, and roughly walk around and mention what some of the mods that has been done to the car so far. So like I mentioned, this car was never on my radar. I never really thought of owning this car, but what happened was my Mitsubishi Lancer was at the shop getting the turbo build done, and one time when I was at the shop I saw this car. Back then it was pretty much bone stock, so it doesn't have all this stuff that you see on the car. It's pretty much bone stock, and I saw it at the shop. The owner of the shop, Long, was actually selling it. This used to belong to him, and he was selling it to a customer. The thing that really drew me to it was the paint was flawless. So the car just got a fresh paint job. So yeah, you can see, camera might be hard to pick it up, but like brand new paint. There's no imperfections, no scratches, no swirls. You can see the gloss on it. It's just pretty much pristine condition. Whole car got repainted, like I said, about 2 weeks before I bought it. So it was being sold to, a potential buyer. He came to look at the car, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, this looks pretty good. So even though I didn't want the car, I just told Long, I was like, hey, here's my cash offer, and I know it's a little bit lower than what you're asking for, but if you accept it, then I'm gonna buy the car. So literally, I think the next day I went to withdraw cash. He said, yes, I went to withdraw cash. I bought the car, and yeah, became a proud owner of this car. So if you guys know, this is the 8th gen of the Honda Civic, one of the most popular platforms. So there are, I believe, 2007 to 2012 or 2011 was when the 8th gen was built. The SI is the highest trim you can get, the sports trim. Sadly, in the US, we never got the Type R, so the next best would be the SI. They come in the coupe, which is the 2-door that I have, or the sedan with the 4 doors. And yeah, it's a great fun car. I got it for a great price. Like I said, it was pretty much for the most part stock, with some little mods here and there. But the way you see it today, it does not look anything like this when I first picked it up. I'll probably link one of the videos when I first picked up this car over a year ago. So yeah, I love how the car looks, how the car drives, how the car sounds right now. I'm pretty happy with it. This is pretty much my little COVID project, I guess. Like I said, picked it up back in summer 2020, and that was right around COVID time. A lot of lockdowns were happening, this and that, and it was a fun little project for me as well. I didn't really have a plan for this car because I had my RSX as my daily driver. I had my Mitsubishi Lancer as my show car. So this car is kind of in between. I wanted it to be like a nice weekend car that I don't have to my Lancer is my weekend car too, but I just don't drive it much. This car, I want it to be nice, but not too crazy. I wanted to have this as my trek and autocross car as well. I haven't done that yet, so hopefully we'll be able to take this to some track days in the future. That should be pretty fun. But yeah, if you guys didn't know, the SI only come in a manual transmission. They come with a 6-speed manual transmission for the 8 gens. It has the famous K20 engine that everybody wants. Let's go ahead and show you guys around the car, some mods that's done. So ironically, when I first got the car, let's talk about what is on the car when I first bought it. So the front end of the car, for the most part, looks kind of similar how I bought it. So it came with these Spec D headlights, come with this HFP front lip, Came with stock Honda Civic Si wheels. And the suspension is lowered on iBox Sportsline springs and Tokiko shocks. I kept that the same. Under the hood it has Skunk 2 headers, which I kept the same, and has a Skunk 2 3-inch exhaust. So no cats, super loud. So I sold that exhaust setup because it's way too loud for my liking. I think more or less that's about it. So pretty subtle. Oh, it did have cams and a tune as well when I got it, as well as intake. So pretty much full bolt-ons. Outside looks pretty stock, but full bolt-ons and tune. What I did was I pretty up the interior a little bit. I bought this double DIN Android head unit. I found these super rare HFP floor mats. So if you guys don't know what HFP stands for, it stands for Honda Factory Performance. You guys might not be familiar if you're not into Hondas, but I'm sure you guys, even non-Honda guys, know Mugen. So same like Mugen, HFP is really sought after, just not quite on the same level as Mugen. It's a little bit less rare, so to speak. HFP parts, just like Mugen parts, used to be offered by Honda dealerships. But yeah, since the agent are discontinued, you can no longer find these floor mats or HFP body parts, which I'll show you guys later. So a set of HFP floor mats. So I picked up the driver, passenger, and the rear. If you manage to somehow find a set brand new for the 8th gen, which is rare, they go for $400 US for floor mats, which is insane. I picked mine up used. Thankfully, there was a guy local to me selling them, and I picked it up way cheaper than that. But I do have to say I paid over $100 for them. I think I paid $150 for the whole set, which is not bad. But yeah, for floor mats, some people might think it's pretty crazy. I put on a Spoon Sports shift knob just for a different, you know, shifter feel. Yeah. Oh, with the SI as well, if you guys don't know about SIs, it revs up to 8200 RPM. So yeah, it revs all the way up. It has your sunroof. I still have the stock SI seats, which I was contemplating if I want to do more stuff to the interior, maybe switch out the seats. I really like red seats. I want to have this whole car like a red, white, and black theme. So I was trying to source like some EK9 Recaros, the red Recaros, but those are kind of either expensive or hard to find, or even throw in like the new FK8 Civic Type R red seats. I don't know. And then maybe an aftermarket steering wheel as well. But for now, stock interior, well, stock-ish interior. From the outside is where most of my mods are done. I guess, call me a ricer, but usually when I first get a car, I do a lot of exterior mods first. To me, it's most exciting, especially when the car looks stock. These hood vents are actually inspired from the Mugen RR Civic Type R that we never got in the US. So, like I said, these are vented hood vents. They actually work. I did a full video on it where I actually cut into the stock hood. So there's a few options. I could get a carbon fiber hood, but I didn't want to spend $1,000 on the carbon fiber hood back then on this car. So I went with hood vents, which I got for super cheap. I think like 50 bucks online on eBay. Cut it myself. You know, of course, did a bunch of measurements, and it works great. And with the HFP front lip, I sourced the HFP side skirts and HFP rear lip. And like I said, HFP being discontinued, it's just so hard to source. Here's a better view of the rear lip. I think it looks so much nicer. But yeah, I drove 10 hours. Well, about 5 hours there, 5 hours back. Almost pretty much to Louisiana border just to pick up the side skirts and rear lip used. But I got a pretty good deal on it. And you guys know me, I love my race wheels. So I'm sporting the Vogue Racing T37s, my favorite wheels of all time. These are actually the OG T37s. So what that means is they were early model, pre-2010 model. Also got some raised lug nuts, Duramax lug nuts, as well as valve stem cap. You guys might notice the rotors, so I did switch those out as well. I've stop tech drilled and slotted rotors, as well as stop tech brake pads. So yeah, small little stuff. And then a window visor. I think that's a pretty JDM thing to do. Small little Mugen stuff as well around the car. So I have this Mugen door handle protector, kind of in like a carbon fiber weave. I see a lot of Type R guys putting it on the FK Type R, so I decided to see if it fits on my 8 Gen, and it does. You guys might be wondering what wing this is. So again, with the whole, you know, Mugen RR, so this, like I said, we never got the Civic Type R for the 8 Gen, and the most aggressive one is the Mugen RR Civic Type R, the FD2 Type R. And that's so aggressive. I really love the styling, so that's how I got inspiration for the hood vents. And same with this wing. So this is actually a Mugen GT wing in carbon fiber. They never offered it in carbon fiber, but this one here is made by Cybon. So I waited like 4 or 5 months for it, but it's supposed to fit on a sedan, but it fits on the coupe pretty good. So yeah, all these mods, whatever install mods, all on my YouTube channel if you guys want to check some of the older videos out. I did mention like the exhaust is super loud, so I switched it out to a full race 3-inch exhaust. So even though it's still 3-inch, it's not as obnoxious, not as loud. And with all my cars, I also switch out all the interior lights and all to LEDs. So interior LED lights, LED headlights, LED fog lights. Even on the rear, my reverse bulbs, my brake bulbs, everything's LEDs. So yeah. Okay, so here's under the hood. So not the prettiest, but eventually I do want to tidy it up with some nicer stuff. As of right now, we just have an engine intake, Mugen oil cap, Mugen radiator cap, and I think that's about it. So pretty stuff under the hood. Plans for the future, I think I want to, like I said, tidy up the engine bay, probably get the valve cover painted. I kind of want to paint it white just to match the outside. They'll be pretty clean. Maybe an aftermarket fuel rail, stuff like that. There's a lot of Honda guys at the shop that I work at, and they're telling me maybe I should get a different throttle body, go with a bigger throttle body. So I might do that. I might upgrade to like I don't know, 70 plus millimeter throttle body for more airflow. And they said with intakes, the best one you can get for the 8 Gen is the hybrid racing. So I might look into that as well. But yeah, power wise, like I said, I'm pretty happy. Full bolt-ons. So we have the intake, Skunk 2 headers, full race 3-inch exhaust. Also have Skunk 2 cams as well as a tune. So all in all, I think it makes great power. Have a bunch of fun. That's why I didn't really have to change out too many power parts to the car. Mainly cosmetic stuff, you know, some interior stuff. So yeah. And plans for the car. So as of right now, like I said, when I first got this car, even up to now, I don't drive the car much. I try to take it out on the weekends, but actually I haven't driven this car until today. But before that, I haven't driven this car for about 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks, and that's because the brake light, I had some issues with that. I didn't want to drive around without no brake lights, so I got that fixed. Some wiring issues, and yeah, I think what will happen is I still want to have this as a nice Trek toy, but you guys saw in the previous video, I'll be selling my RSX soon. So once that sells, this will take over daily driver duties. Yeah, I think it'll make a nice daily driver. Probably the only few things I'll swap out is like the wheels and tires. As much if I love TE37s, I just don't want to, you know, rock TEs for daily wheels. Plus, the current setup I have on my RSX, we have raised Gremlite 57DR wheels. They're great. The wheel specs and tire specs fits on the 8 Gen as well perfectly, so that'll be great. Actually, the tires are better on that one, has more grip. So yeah, even though I have TEs on this one, tires aren't as good. So yeah, might swap that out in the future. And if you guys stayed to the really end, I want to say a big thank you. I know some of you guys are fans of my Civic Si, some of you guys are not, but that's fine. At the end of the day, this is a car that somehow landed in my garage. Like I said, I never had a desire to own one of these cars, but after owning one, I can see the appeal of the Honda Civic Si. And fun fact, this is actually the first manual car that I ever owned. I've driven manual cars, like friends' cars, you know, learned a few years back, but I just never owned a manual car. And a lot of people say, like, as a car enthusiast, you have to own a manual car, or you have to know how to drive stick, stuff like that. And I never really quite understood that. until I got myself a Civic Si. And I know a lot of people who are not into Hondas actually hate Honda Civics, think they are racers, but this one's really fun. Like I said, I love how it drives. I love the high red line 8200 RPM. It revs up all the way. You know, I can pretty much drive it normally around town like a normal Honda Civic, but if I feel like, you know, getting into the power band, I can just rev it up, downshift, bring it up. Once VTEC hits around 5,000-6,000 RPM is when this car really comes alive. So yeah, I hope you guys like this 1 year ownership video of this Honda Civic Si. And I think this will be a car that I will keep for a while. I don't foresee myself letting this car go unless someone comes up with like a crazy cash offer to buy the car off me. But yeah, hope you guys stay tuned. Maybe I'll make a second year video whenever this car hits 2 years with me. Again, if you guys are new to the channel, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell, helps up a lot. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.